So folks, in this episode, I get let loose in a junkyard.
Well, we're back out here at the yard. Apparently they got some engines.
Find this thing. Attempt to fix the engine. Realize that's not worth happening.
Well folks, I'd say this engine's done.
Find another engine.
Oh yeah, I got an engine.
And try to get it in here and make it work. Oh, and did I mention I did the engine installation while it was snowing in South Georgia with 17-degree wind chill? I haven't owned a pair of long johns in my life. I did that day, and still about froze to death because this is South Georgia. We're not prepared for that. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoy this video, and roll the intro.
Well, we're back out here at the yard. Apparently they got some engines. Look at this thing. We're gonna see what it weighs. I think they want 15 cents a pound for it. I got a hold of the original owner of this machine, and basically the engine froze. And I'd say it's junk. It's done, engine wise. But the hydraulics, he said, never gave him any issue. They were fine. So we'll see. I can get a new engine for this, pretty daggum cheap. So brought a battery, so we might just see what happens. Otherwise, I don't know. But we'll take a gander, see what it's worth. Supposed to be a disconnector, some way to get this thing off. This whole thing's welded up. That's not good. Alright, got a key. Boom locks. Does it even move? I don't know. We'll get it up, and like I said, we're gonna see what it weighs. Let's see what the hours are. 3,400. Yep. It's a piece of junk. Sounds worth it. I ain't got no water there, but if we check the dipstick, that might be a problem. At least we know we ain't got any. At least we know we ain't got no old oil in it. But yeah, that thing may or may not be, done. So, like I said, we'll see how bad it is. But I'll be back in a minute. At least we know the wheels ain't locked up much. Lord have mercy. Hi.
Right?
Not yet. We're gonna weigh it. Engine's done. I pulled the dipstick on enough of the water to start gushing out the drain the hole.
The engine shot?
I'd say the engine shot. Everything else seems pretty good. The engine shot and the bucket is not removable. It was at one point, but it's been welded to it.
That hurts.
Yeah. The tires are phenomenal. Plenty of tread, no dry rot whatsoever. We need one of those loaders is what we need.
Oh, I'd love to have my own loader back.
So,
I like 47 bucks. 49.40.
that's about 500 pounds less than I thought it was going to be. Well, it's ours now. You don't get much more saved from scrap than in the daggum yard. Something cool. I asked them about all these engines. Turns out they're on concrete grinders or something, and they're all going to have busted crankshafts because well, there's a hole in this one because apparently the machines they might run for 1,000 hours. They might run for 15 minutes. They catch something right, bam, bust them. They told the company they get them from buys them by the semi-load. This stuff's, I ain't got that kind of dough. Anyways, this black beauty here, officially ours. Now I gotta figure out what to do with it. Yeah. Let's see what happens. We'll figure out how to pick this up later. Oh, it's here. I got a tailgate too. Finally. Probably should have done that sooner. Anyways. That was fun. I bought a skid steer. Let's go back to the house. Yeah. Well, here we is. Fixing to get her loaded up. I don't know what that was for. Hope you don't mind. There you go. Got a few things out here. I'm gonna have to set this thing down for a second.
I know it just need a big
Well, that didn't make any sense.
You gonna say this is the final resting place now?
Well, I said to them when I brought it, I said I'm bringing it to his final resting place. Little did I know. Coming right back again.
Yeah.
That's no lie. Everybody and their brother has borrowed it, used it, beat on it.
Well, here we going down the road. I got this hunk of junk loaded up and boogieing. Probably should be falling a lot closer than it looks like on the camera, so maybe I should back off if something comes off and hits me. Yeah. Good. Anyway, I'll see y'all at the house when we're unloading it. Well, folks, here it be. Yeah. Well, folks, here it be. We got it. By popular demand, and by popular demand I mean 2 people, and I really, really wanted to. So, I'm blaming this on y'all, but we'll see. I'm just kidding, sorta. Let's see. That set wasn't really wanting to turn. Must be auxiliary. Yeah, I should probably actually looked in this thing more before I got it, because y'all saw about all of it. Parking brake. Make sure to disconnect that, because this is actually rusted off. Let's sit inside of it. See what this abomination feels like. Free can of starting fluid, that's probably a hint. Actually, it's expensive, probably shouldn't waste it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it latches up there. So I guess you'd pull those in and come down. That's not terrible. This is annoying. The controls feel, I like how they feel in my hand. I wonder what that button does. We got fuel gauge, a brake warning, alternator, hydraulic engine preheat, lights. Huh. Bottle opener, random ground. I don't think that's the original gauge. Boom locks that don't work. Battery box behind me, so when everything explodes I can get sprayed with acid. Yeah. So it's good. The controls feel functional. Little rust, little pitting, nothing major. Jeez. Ow. Yeah. Hey, we still even got one grab iron. So, about the engine. I was showing it to the guy dropping it off, and well, there's even more water coming out, but now we're getting oil chunks. So, let's stick that back in. I'm gonna let it drain for a little bit. You know, just in case. Let's see, this thing should have glow plugs somewhere. Keyword being some and where. Ooh. Oh, that's bad. That hydraulic line's ready to bust. Good enough to try to start, though. That still moves. I don't know what that does. I don't know where that goes. Not sure about that open point. Could open the lid, that helped. Should I pull the injectors? Would it be easier to pull the injectors or the glow plugs? Where are the glow plugs? Oh, there's a glow plug. Okay, I found them. They are in between the exhaust intakes, and I can't get that one past the injector. Good, good. Injector lines, of course. Let's see if I can't drain this little engine. What's the valve train look like? Wet. I'm sure that's okay. I'm gonna drain the engine. It's probably gonna have cylinders full of water, but I do want to see what happens, since getting a new one is an option. I might just try to start it. We'll see. If I can get it turned over. Which, for some reason... Oh crap, it turns over, or it moves. Bill, you hear this, Mr. Bill? Joker's running. That engine, if that engine wiggles at all, we might be able to make it run. If I can get it to have compression, but I don't know if y'all can see that. I was able to pull on. Yeah, that engine turns. That engine turns. By Jove. I wonder if that water that's running out ain't from... if the rest leaking past the cylinder walls. I'm gonna go get a drain pan. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's some real hopeful thinking. Let me just do y'all a favor. I'll show you the funny part.
I should have thought that through.
And yeah, we'll just we'll skip to where I found an engine on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm going to get it probably through sporadically formatted clips, because I thought I was going to do about 13 different things, and that was ended up just doing a 13-hour drive with my girlfriend through some really nice, pretty places. So I'll show y'all whatever the heck I managed to film of that, and yeah, it was something. And this is a piece of, this is junk. I think that's right. Alright, it is 6 o'clock in the morning. I have my girlfriend. And we're going to South Carolina to get an engine for the project, skid steer thing. I don't know, it's too early. Let's go. Breakfast. The sun's coming up on us, and we have 4.5 hours still to get there. Yay! Adventure. Fuel bills. Excitement. I can see!
Ain't that a party dag inside? Oh, I'm gonna see that.
Well, every day. Got some good food. Don't know what it is, but it looks good. Yeah. It's a good daggum sandwich. Why don't you stop in here? The public well. Good food. You stop by here again. You know, when I'm 4.5 hours from home and away, I never ever go, oh yeah, I got an engine. Well, I got the engine picked up. Tested it at the guy's house. It runs good. Oil is phenomenal, and it's got the factory filter, so I'm gonna say it ain't got no hours. I ain't check coolant. Full of coolant. So yeah. Good deal, good buy. Got it for a steal and got a table with it. So we're gonna keep on trekking. It's 5 hours and 10 minutes from where I picked this engine up to my house, not counting stops and every daggone thing else. So let's remember I locked the truck, and she has the key. Thank you, Mallory. Anyways, truck's held up so far. Let's see how it makes it. So that ain't pretty. What is, except for that, or her, you know, thing. Yeah. Although we might be running the view for others. Oh crap! Away we go!
Finally, back to good, decent civilization. Hallelujah.
In Hill County. home. Finally. Anyways, it's home. Thank you, Mallory. It's home. Now I can go in the skid steer, hopefully. Maybe. We'll see. Hope those holes line up. Yeah, there you go. It's already losing fluid, and I ain't even got it all the way loose yet. Oh well. Back to work. Alright, I've got my hydraulic lines, and I went ahead, and since I think this hose got wore out rubbing against something down there, I went ahead and got some old fire hose, and we're going to put it around these lines to keep them from rubbing, hopefully. And really need to scrape this thing out. Probably later. Anyways, we'll work on getting this back together. Alright, well, I got the lines installed, and heck, I was worried about rubbing down there. I think all this would be a bigger issue, but I guess there is technically less movement. I don't know. Anyways, it shuts now. I probably should have put something on that little hose, but it pitched to fit, so it doesn't get any. Still shuts normally. If it didn't, that'd be impressive. I did get some hydraulic fluid. What kind? Well, it was on sale. That kind. Yeah. Y'all probably can't see it, but there's no fluid in that sight glass, so I'll fill it up later. But I'm going to scrape this thing out with a shovel, and it'll be ready to have the engine put in it. So here we go, folks. Fixing to bring this thing back from the dead. Maybe. God, I hope so. I spent a lot of money on this. Alrighty, I'm going to apologize for the wind noise right now, because today is... whew, it's going to be rough. But we're going to try to get this engine right here that I picked up, and I actually don't think I've given a good walk around of it. But you can see I paid very, very little for it. But it has... where is it? The factory oil filter, and the oil is more or less gold colored. So that should tell you just how much it's been used. Yeah, retapped the screw holes on the flywheel, and had to have new holes drilled in the mount and the center turned down so it would line up. That wasn't too bad as far as price goes. It's not quite as strong as this one, but these are considerably more reliable. In fact, it is. Here's a cold start. It's about, I think it draws power for some reason. Anyways, it's like, I don't know, 30 something degrees out. Glow plugs. I mean, that's not bad if you ask me. Run straight. And of course it comes with a fairly long loom for the key and everything, so I may be able to run that to the front of the machine. We can have us new key and stuff installed, which would be very nice. And it's got an electric shut off, so I don't have to worry about trying to line up the old mechanical one because it was part of the lever, and I'm thankful I don't have to deal with that. Anyways, let's back off. I'm waiting on a buddy to get here, and we're going to try to remove this from the stand and remove the mounts from this and make these mounts go to that, and hopefully we'll be able to work it under the barn to do the little work, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I'll
I'll be back when we got something interesting happening. All right, what are you saying?
I don't remember which part it was because I messed it up one time taking one of these apart. I believe it's these. If you turn them on one of the variants of these Kubota engines, you'll mess up the injector timing.
Huh?
Yeah. Getting this whole thing apart's a real pain in the...
I'm gonna have to censor you. You know
Yeah,
that, right?
you probably. But... No, it sucks. It thoroughly sucks. I filled one of these and the whole thing's up with water. The diesel's half water. Anyway, the whole thing got flooded and I just had to take part of it apart to get it all out and get it to turn over. Out in the field too. It was a great day.
Well, it can't be any worse than this day. Unless it was July.
It was July.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
That was worse than this day.
120 degrees out in the middle of a field. It sucked.
Probably could have been the heat index that day.
I think I speeded up the video. Oh wow, that's like new.
No dust.
It's the cleanest I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know.
Well, other than new, but yeah, on a running engine, they never stay that clean.
No, if you live inside of a school.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. I'm not scared to put washers back here. We can actually put that thing on the outside of this and I won't even have to move the radiator mounts. Might have to cut part of this off, but I can leave those mounts on there and not have to fool with rearranging all that.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll see how that goes.
A little bit of a dumb question. How'd you move that?
Move what?
The engine out. So obviously you didn't pick that up and carry it. You picked it up and just...
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, I picked it up kind of and slid it out onto tractor forks.
Okay, well, it's...
I dang sure didn't walk off with it.
Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, there's no way your knees are destroyed then.
Yeah, this engine is sadly completely done. Got a great starter on it. I'm probably going to keep that. I think they match.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the starter's phenomenal. And they may be the same or at least close enough to mount up. Yeah.
Now, connecting to the hydraulic system, that's the part I'm kind of missing at the moment. Or is it?
The hydraulic pumps run off. All right, it's a hydrostatic machine.
Yeah.
You see this plate right here?
Oh, that's what that goes to. Got it. Okay, I understand. That's going to just bolt up onto the flywheel.
That's just a little bitty drive shaft. It bolts to the flywheel. It slides into the shaft.
And that already lines up with that flywheel?
$220 at the machine shop makes it line up with that flywheel.
Ah, there we go.
While I'm here, let's see. I need to get this as even as possible, and the top of this looks like it's about center with the flywheel, so let's just try to make sure that sort of happens. Because I don't want that shaft at too much of an angle, but...
Yeah, they don't like being in it, and universal joints in these are good enough.
I mean,
you don't want to pull this out again.
Not too much slop.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
No. That, and it's pretty daggum easy to pull out. I mean, literally, there's 4 bolts in the bottom. And there's 4 bolts in the bottom, 2 plugs, and then the whole thing slides out.
Okay.
This is literally getting that to stick to that's going to be the hardest part. Well, and drilling the holes, but yeah.
Yeah, that's only half inch steel. It's not terrible.
No.
All right, I guess.
Well, we're not drilling any. Well, I mean, there's the holes in that, but yeah. Let's figure out how to move these jokers. At least the wind's blowing this way, and we're not out there right now.
Yeah.
And the out there work's not going to be great, but it's going to be more tolerable than.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's yeah, we'll be back eventually. Yeah. All right, so Phineas got the fuel filter off. We got the engine mounts off, so all that's got to do is come straight up. This one, we're going to pick it up and get these orange things off. Sounds good. Mounts off of that one. Got this one over under some sort of shelter with some difficulty.
Nothing that'd be interesting on camera, just pain in the butt. For a second there, it was snow flurry. We live in South Georgia. That should be a hint of how ridiculous of a day it is. Anyways, before Mr. Phineas freezes to death in his 1% body fat, we will put these tools up and go warm up and then figure out what we're going to do next. Sounds good? Sounds good. Alright, so now we're going to get, like that. Now we're going to get this orange mount, remove those cheapo ones, get this orange mount mounted to here and see what happens. Alright, we got these mangled and mangled-er. And now we got to figure out how to get these holes to be lined up and drilled. So we'll see how that goes, right? Right.
Alright, well, we got 2 of the holes to line up. Let's pray we can get the rest of them to do the same. Alright?
Alright. Here we see Liam and Phineas working in their natural habitat of an absolute train wreck. Well, I mean, I guess what we should do is drill these and make sure they actually worked.
Yeah.
And do that on this side.
I think so.
I am still confused and frightened, and I just realized if we're drilling all these holes, we don't actually have that much hardware.
Oh, that's right.
Huh.
This is only held on with a couple bolts with the original.
Well, there's 2 here and 4 there. So 6 bolts.
A couple bolts short. I mean, enough to make sure it's a hardware store at least.
For metrics, grade 8 bolts.
Tractor Supply, if they're back in stock, they'll have them. They have a
And they'll be
selection.
$40 a piece.
No, they sell them by pound. It's not that bad. I mean,
Oh,
it's
really?
yeah, it's by the pound, not by the packet.
Are they open on Saturdays?
They're open all the time.
We may be making a trip to Tractor Supply if this works.
Yes, if
'Cause this is really iffy.
yeah.
Actually, or we end up putting the whole thing in the machine and say, yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Actually, we may need some big washers.
They'll have them. They'll cost too much, but they'll have them.
Hmm.
Unless you got some chunks of steel you want to drill some holes through.
I do. That's a little thick.
Yeah.
But I do actually, I think I got that gauge steel.
Okay.
Hole drilling time.
Drill. I mean, so you want to.
Yeah. My brain just took a dump on me. Don't worry about it. I'm not.
So, how many TBIs have you had?
Huh?
Traumatic brain injuries.
C-plant?
No, no, that's probably better than me holding it. Or trying.
Look here. Let's put it down on this end.
Reach. Of course, you always move the metal.
That's trying to walk. Give me a heart attack, but that's a hole drill.
Yeah, with my drilling skills, we're definitely going to need to make these too big. This is why I need a milling machine.
Yeah, they help out a lot.
I think the bit's bent. Oh well.
Well, that's 4 holes.
Well,
Lord dear Jesus.
pretty close.
Alright.
Yeah, that actually should line up.
Well, let's hope pretty close was pretty close enough.
You're off by like a 32nd, but other than that, I think you're good.
Well, my markings were off by about a quarter, so that's not bad. Or an eighth, realistically. No, 16. Probably. Well, they're plus or minus an eighth. Anyways. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. A lot of the holes are a little big. We'll be fine.
Well, they think they're going to be a little big. Probably really shouldn't be drilling these so big.
Yeah, that could be slightly problematic. Comes to vibration and
But you know whose problem that is?
Yours?
Future me's.
Ah, future. That's right. Oh yeah, they're gonna go in just fine. The only one that could be an issue is that one there, but
Which one?
this one. That's the only one I could see that looks a little a funny angle.
Let's try pushing it this way.
Yeah.
Come on, come on. It's starting.
All right.
Sweet.
Okay, now I just gotta do that 3 more times.
And then duplicate on the other side.
Duplicating should be a lot easier.
You say that. I've had issues in the past.
Okay, well, let's get these off and do some more. Alright, let's see how this lines up.
Go up there, I think.
Well, the bottom holes don't.
Ooh. Of course, there's a bolt in the way that's going to put this at an angle, so that is going to slightly mess it up.
Good point.
Take the radiator off.
Well, what I'll do is I'll remove that bottom bolt and try to line it up through this top bolt right here. So just put this bolt and then whatever bolt goes there, and we'll see if that works.
Okay.
That makes sense?
I think so.
Okay, okay. Well, so the first one had 4, but they were a lot bigger. This one has 6, but they're smaller because we messed up those bottom 2 connections. But they're for the radiator. But that's probably not that important, right? Maybe?
Yeah. I mean, my 250 doesn't have mounted radiator. It just floats.
Your 250s are whacked out piece of crap.
Well, yeah, but it works.
Well, unfortunately, I can't really do that with this one. Actually, that seems close enough,
Should work.
right?
On paper, at least.
Oh, hey, you cut out one of the holes we needed.
Well, there's a oil filter there, so not sure what to do about that.
Not cut so far back?
Eh.
Oh well. Whoopsie. This one's gonna need them bottom ones.
Yeah, what's holding up there? It's more of a joke.
Let's clamp it together and see what we can diddly do. Diddly do. I think I've lost my mind. After spending way too much money on hardware, let's pray this actually holds the thing together. You know, it's only the light duty stuff, so it'll probably be fine. Right, right. Oh boy. Alright, well there's going to be a gap on this end of the plate that's about 1/4 inch, so we got some metric things that were close enough to 1/4 inch, and we're just going to tack weld those in. Alright, makes sense? Okay, good. This is what I meant by tacking these on here. Yeah, tacking, sure. Alright, well, we got at least 6 bolts in each side, and 6 is the fix, right? Close enough. I think technically the last one only had 4, so...
Better.
Better. Alright. Now we gotta get this in the machine, and it's getting dark, so... And cold and windy, so let's, Alright, so it's the next day and slightly less miserable. Slightly. Phineas is not a popsicle. We have the engine installed, more or less. We couldn't drill that hole because the oil filter's in the way, and we got the hole wrong for the oil filter drain, so that's got... Anyways, we're not worried about that. We'll figure it out later. We did get the privilege of using a new fuel return line. So there that is. Because we had to stop because the one we had was 1 inch short, so we got that there. The exhaust intake, none of that's going to line up, so we're just not going to worry about it for test purposes. I've got the thank you, key switch off the test unit, or the test table, or whatever. And it's long enough we should be able to run it and actually mount this inside the cab instead of having to fool with the old junky one. So that'll be really daggum nice. So let's I want to put a little hydraulic fluid in the tank because there's none in the sight glass. And we'll try to run the wires and start it and see if it moves. Sound good? No? Too bad. Oops. Is the gauge reading anything yet? Let's have a look.
I'm gonna go with no. I don't know if the gauge works.
It's a sight glass.
Well, it could be plugged.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't
know. That's close enough.
Looks like the type you get like a bottle of chlorine. No, they're different. I don't know.
We're looking at junkyard skid steer with a boat tank thing. Alright, I'm starting to regret using that big of a fire hose for checking mine.
How far back should I stand from this thing when it turns on?
Let's see if this thing will move again. First time in, well, since it came back from the scrapyard.
Yeah.
If I die, tell Lee he can't drive my truck.
That checks out. Must be cold.
I think I need to bleed the hydraulics. I meant bleed the... Hey, but nothing's ripping itself apart.
Yeah. No expensive noises yet. Yeah, those Kubota engines don't like being cold. That one didn't come with glow plugs, did it?
Huh?
That doesn't have glow plugs.
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
I was using the glow plugs. If I did, this is one of those ones, if you don't, I tried, if you don't use the glow plugs, it doesn't start.
That's a Kubota engine. All right. It runs. It's not getting enough fuel.
Or I stalled it out. I mean, it's sitting on idle right now, so we can't really...
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, it's not getting enough fuel.
Something's gonna screw.
smoky.
Yeah.
Not on fire.
I'm gonna take a guess and say, since that, I don't know if I showed it on video, but that engine dang sure didn't smoke before at all. I'm just gonna take a guess and say it's smoking because it's got bad fuel in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, this is literally just whatever fuel was in it when I pulled it out of the junkyard.
You got a hydraulic leak.
Where?
The whole bottom. One of your hoses leaks. Fittings.
Huh. So it does. I also got a cylinder leaking.
That cylinder leak isn't terrible. I've seen
Oh, it isn't?
worse. No, it's a drip. You're
Yeah.
gonna lose a gallon an hour, but I mean,
I'm gonna fix that.
yeah, it's not terrible to replace.
Okay, but it runs
yes, it runs.
and operates. So let's I'm gonna take a break for a second because now I'm excited, and we'll see what we do next. There we go. It moves. We raised the dead species. Project Lazarus. Here we go. Out of the cave. Now we got to get her. I don't know. Waking up. I don't think we got to walk out the cave yet.
So groggy.
Yeah, still groggy. Yeah. Alright, so we've got this hydraulic leak here, and we still need to figure out that hole, and I can't get the oil drained out. I got to move the oil filter, but I can't get the oil drained out of the engine until I get access to a plug, so we're going to have to make a hole. For anyone wondering, this was the setup I was using to make sure any of this worked before I spent all that time and money getting an engine and installing it. Just a tubing, a bolt that has been massacred, that I made out of another bolt and a nut, and then all this was just held together by running it through a hole saw with a bolt like that. Anyways, we're gonna take this hole saw and make a new drain hole right in front of that drain plug right here, because that'll be easier than dealing with the other one. Sounds like a plan? Okay, let's try not to kill ourselves. Alright, we got fresh oil in it. Had to change the filter. Got it properly mounted now. And that was a loose connection, so maybe it'll work. Ready, Finn?
Ready?
Alright.
Need glow plugs?
Yeah, give it some glow plugs. Wait about 5 seconds or 7 seconds, somewhere in there. Try to lift the boat. Perfect. You can set it back now.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean,
No more oil leak or transmission fluid leak.
hydraulic fluid leak.
Hydraulic fluid leak.
There we go. There we go. All right. And so,
Oil filter didn't leak?
nope. I don't think. Probably not. That's fine.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we got the fluid problem, leaking problem fixed out of there. Not the bucket, but out of there at least. Sure helps if you tighten them. We got oil in it.
Too much oil.
Yeah.
Well, if there's too much, it will damage your bottom end.
Shh. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Probably.
Hopefully.
I hope so. Worst case scenario, I drain it back out. Anyways, well, that's probably going to get it for this weekend. I think we're going to run it. We took the old filter off because they weren't using it and it was in our way, so probably going to put fresh fuel lines on it running to the engine and put an inline filter in there. But aside from that, I'll update y'all on that later. It's nothing interesting there. So aside from that, we've got this thing running. Now we have to connect things like the intake and exhaust. So, but
we'll work on that another day, because it got down to a wind chill of 17 degrees last night while we were still out here, and it's getting cold again. I don't think I want to freeze again, do you?
I'm not particularly interested in it.
Okay, well, we're gonna put that line back in, and I'll see y'all later. Cold. Alright, I know you can't see in this engine compartment real well, but we're gonna be working on the intake and exhaust. I'll start with the intake. I've got some pieces of tubing here, and this should fit inside that piece of metal tubing, the one that comes, out of the air intake, as well as will fit inside this piece of rubber tubing that used to hold the old machines or the old engines intake on. And what I'll do is I'll cut this thing down the middle, put a piece of tubing in, and rotate it into a Z shape, and then I'll take a piece of tubing and stick it inside of here, or butt up against it, whichever works better, and use that as the the thing, the you know what I'm talking about. Then we'll work on exhaust, but right now, intake. I didn't really check, but maybe I should clean that out before I hook it up to the machines. Yeah, air intake. Might be a good idea. Alright, well that tubing was slightly too big, and this tubing slightly too small, but slightly too small and still works. It's just right. Right? This ain't gonna blow up that engine, right? Probably not. It's okay. We'll just put it together and nobody will ever know. See? You can't even tell that I did anything. Yeah. Well, after not measuring once and cutting a bunch, I've done something that you can't see because it's too dark, so I'll show it to you in the daylight. I decided while I was here I might as well check the air filter. Beam is probably check that in equipment you buy from a junkyard. I've seen worse. Napa Gold. But I should probably replace it. This doesn't look great either. Part of it's probably where I've been touching it, but I think I'm just gonna play it safe and there we go. I think I'm just gonna play it safe and replace both of these. Because, well, might as well. Spend all that money on a new engine, might as well spend the money on the filters. Or something. Okay, well, yeah. Time to do some filtering. Alright, so I've got this exhaust tacked together. I couldn't really show the process because, heck, I was doing most of this literally blind. I just had to close my eyes and hope I get it to stick, because I couldn't even get my welding helmet in there with me, much less a camera. So we got the exhaust pipe set up where we can mount it up. All I gotta do is weld it together. I'm also gonna take and run this piece of tubing off the end because it's about the same size, at least close enough. We'll put this flapper valve on top of it. Now, since watching me attempt to weld this together will be incredibly boring and tedious on my end, I'm just going to skip to when it's done. Right now. See? Easy peasy. Now, for what the circumstances were, I'd say this welding really wasn't that bad. Well, maybe don't look at that side or the other side. But, don't worry about that part. All that matters is it ain't going to leak, probably. And, I can guarantee you when I hit this with some leak-proofing spray paint, ain't nothing gonna be an issue no more. So I'll hit it with some of that,
and it can go back in the machine. I'm spray painting an exhaust pipe, doo-dah, doo-dah. Probably gonna all burn off and kill me with some cancer later. Hey! It is high heat though, so maybe. Well, it's probably the best it's ever gonna look, because as soon as this thing hits daylight, ugh. But I'd argue that it's slightly better. Besides, it's gonna be down inside the machine. All you're gonna see is the flapper valve when it's installed. Maybe. I hope. I don't know. I'll see y'all tomorrow when we go to fire this thing up. Alright, I've got the exhaust, air intake, and throttle linkage. You can't really see that down there. All hooked up. Would love to do a video doing that, but I could barely even fit myself in here, and I only had time to work at night. So, you know, A, I couldn't film, and B, well, you couldn't have seen it anyways. So, sorry. Get that trash out of there. Anyways, now all this is set up for dummy lights. This engine was, this machine was, and I'm not a big fan of those. So we're gonna hook up some actual gauges here. So I'll put a oil pressure, engine oil, engine temp, and volt gauge in there. And later we'll get a hydraulic temperature sensor, but don't worry about that in a minute. That way when I actually test this machine, I ain't worried about overheating it or damaging it or none of that. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to work on getting these hooked up and run, and I'll show you what I've done. Sound good? Okay. Alright, I've got the pressure and temp gauge hooked up. I don't have the voltmeter connected yet, but we'll worry about that in a minute. I've got to find a good spot to put them. I'm almost thinking about making a mount for them that goes to the seat plate thing and using that, but we'll see. Of course, got the key. What I'm probably going to do is, I don't have enough cable to go all the way back to this, so I may mount the key over here, and so you have the key there, this there, and it's actually would be fairly easy to get to it and turn it from where you sit, so that maybe that'll work out. If you would like to see it start, you turn the key back. Yeah, because, you know, no point in seeing the gauges in the dark when you can't see any daggum thing else. I checked the oil in the chain drives, and that all looks good. So, I'm going to clean it. I need to clean this thing before I go trying to take a spin with it. And I need to put some air in the tires. I do know that cylinder leaks a little bit, and this one might. We'll see. I'm waiting on some plugs so I don't dump fluid everywhere when I change these hydraulic lines. But hopefully they'll hold till I can get those plugs, and it'd be, you know, just to try it out, see it operate just a little bit. Anyways, right now I'm going to put some air in the tires, all of them. Alright, now before I go trying to weld and do too much metal work and anything in here, I'm gonna crank the machine up. I'm gonna pull it around right over there by that truck. We're gonna pressure wash it and clean all this pine straw out of it, because I don't feel like setting it on fire any more than I have to. So let's try to do that. Oh, and I'll put you on a stand so you can actually see it running without it runs a lot better with the with the intake and exhaust. It doesn't. Y'all probably saw it was smoking real bad and everything, and as soon as I put that on there, all that went away. So I'll put you up on a stand. We'll crank this thing up, Y'all can see it work. Also, all the tires had air in them, and every one of them had a cap on the valve stem. Now, I needed to put some air in, but they're all equally low, and they all took it just as well, and these tires are really nice. I mean, they don't even have dry rot, and that's just, ain't that some stuff. So, I'll put y'all on a stand, and y'all can see this thing crank up, and this is going to be the first time I've driven it anywhere, other than backing it right here, so let's see how it does. Don't want your seat to get wet, just remove it. Alright, we found our first, I'd say, a real issue. And that's this leak right here. That is a, that's no good. We'll see if we can't do a little work and just not worry about that for a second. Oh, it's just dirt. Okay. But we'll, that seems fine. This one's, oh crap, that's why it's leaking. Oh, that's not good. Alright, so this one's bent. That's not good at all. This one, it's a little damp, it weeps a little, that's not bad. And this one's fine. Although it probably needs to be redone too, to be honest with you. So, lines are holding up. So anyways, we'll, let's clean this thing up some. I'm gonna scrape the pine straw out and pressure wash it. And we might try to run it. Just see what we can do. Sound good? Okay. Well, I don't know if I'd call this much better, but it is different. Definitely less flammable, and that was what I was trying to do. Yeah, I think the paint job's so wore out, you can't tell if it's dirty or not, for the most part. I think it's a little better. Anyways, I'm going to put this up, let this dry off for a little bit. And I know we got this leak issue, but I'm going to see if I can't do something with it. I'm waiting for some stoppers to come in so I can change all these hydraulic lines. So when I do that, I'll pull this and see if I can't have it fixed. Sounds good? Alright. I'm going to take this one to a hydraulic shop. I ain't got the tools to fool with that. Alright. Next, I'll be back in just a minute. Well, shucks. I done messed up. I let this get caught in the flywheel. It's all melted and liquefied and whatever else. So I'll I guess I'm just gonna have to cut it short and we can mount the key over back here. There somewhere. 'Cause that's about my only option now. I ain't really got nothing to extend this with. But on the plus side, there's not as many wires that actually go to this key or in that loom. So it shouldn't be too bad, I hope. Okay, well, time to fix this screw up. Alright, well, I got the key switch wired back in and checked it worked. And I got a hole wallered out I can put it in. I'm gonna have to probably cut all this metal out anyways, so I ain't too worried about it. I can tell y'all how I did it. All I'm gonna say is I need an angle grinder, and if I told you how, somebody's probably calling the cops on me. So I'm gonna hook that key switch in, and then take some zip ties. I think I'm just gonna try to hook this thing up, I don't know, here somewhere. We'll see. Alright, I got the key in place. The gauge is very securely mounted. Totally. Oop, little trash. You know, gotta keep this thing clean. I'm gonna go... I don't want to try to do too much with it because I'm scared to blow the lines, and of course I got the whole puking hydraulic issue. But there's a spot right there that could really be smoothed out, so let's try that. Alright. Well, it's not. It only pukes oil when it's all the way extended, so maybe I can ignore that for now. The machine seemed to run fine. It was pretty happy. Didn't have the throttle very high. Oil pressure stayed decent. Nothing smoking in here. That's good. Well, it's all wet, so you can't really tell, but I don't think anything that shouldn't have has started dumping fluid. lines are still in one piece. Yeah, that definitely does weep right there. Just water from when I pressure washed it dripping. I'd say we got ourselves a machine. We got to change them hydrolytical lines. As long as that thing's not puking fluid, I'm not worried about it for now. I'll pull that when I pull all the pins and bushings. So, ain't too stressed. Thing sure was happy to work. It wasn't struggling. At least didn't feel like it. Now, that's literally the longest I've ever operated a skid steer in my life before right here. So, I mean, technically speaking, I spent more time working on one than running it. And, well, it's definitely better than what it was. So, hey, I'd say that's a win right there. Let me get them new hydraulic lines in and we'll actually try some digging with it. But I've had some bad experiences with the lines blowing up when you put them under real pressure, and it picked the machine up, but let's just wait a minute. Well, being as these plugs came in earlier than expected, let's get to work. Now, I don't feel any real need to video unhooking very obviously placed hydraulic lines because that just seems like a waste of everybody's time. So I'll get these off and then I'll come back and I don't know, maybe you can watch me cry over the price tag or something. We'll see. Sound good? Okay. Alright folks, I don't know how long it's been since I last gave an update because it's wildfire season in South Georgia and I've been on call. Let me tell you, it's kicking. Whew, last week's been kicking my butt. Will y'all please? Anybody in the Ben Hill, Irwin County area watching this, will y'all please pay more attention to the weather? Saturday. Anyways, just just because you can burn doesn't mean you should. Because, anyways, I'm not gonna get on my high horse here. Let's I got new lines, so let's work on hooking them up. The only problem is yesterday we had some pretty serious rain, so couldn't plug these. And no, that's fluid. Maybe no serious water got in those. I mean, I guess there are. Yeah, they're pretty well covered. I also got a new filter and 15 gallons of fluid, which if it ain't enough to fill this thing, then we just, oh boy. Also, I had the lines made at O'Reilly's because I was able to get some discounts on them, but the daggum fluid, the fluid is almost half as much as Napa, and this filter was over $100 at O'Reilly's, but this one was 80 something. Not cheap, but I think that I had to order from Napa anyways, so it was kind of funny. But one problem though, the engine quit starting once I parked it here. I think it's an electrical gremlin, probably caused from snatching all the yeah. I think our starting issue is caused by some electrical gremlins, because what it is the solenoid's just not wanting to do anything. It's actually a new one I bought, and I need to test the wires to see what they're doing. I think we probably just got something snatched loose. That's all. But while we're here, let's go ahead and start resealing everything. Oops. Oh, no, that's not no ring. It's really not that interesting to film, so I'll go ahead and hook the new lines up, and we will, see what it takes to get the engine to start. Sound good? Alright. Let's get rocking. Alright. Alright, after learning some very valuable lessons about taking pictures of what you've done beforehand and not making stupid comments about how obvious the lines are, because you're going to end up running fire calls for a week straight and can't touch the machine, I've got it together. I really should have taken pictures of those. I managed to find a clip in a video where I could see them, but That I had to do mostly blind, and that was very not fun. I would have lifted the boom up, but hey, wait a minute, the machine don't run. So, you know, minor things, or whatever I'm rambling about. I'm going to fill the filter up with oil, go ahead and put that back in. In fact, I think I'll go ahead and, I was going to drain what oil was in here out, but due to leaks and whatnot that I both know exist and haven't found yet, I want to make sure there's no water in the bottom again, because, you know, this cap is not the best. And I will just fill her up, and then we'll try to start the engine, because I really don't want to run those pumps dry. So, sound good? Sounds good. Good. Anyways, I don't feel like embarrassing myself struggling to fill this thing up, so we're just not going to show that. Good? Okay, go away now.
Alright, I don't know how well y'all can see that bubble, but after putting about 10 gallons in the machine and then draining 8 of them out because I wasn't paying attention to the gauge and couldn't tell the difference, we're full. Hey, and now I know I definitely don't have any water in the bottom of this thing. So, I guess the next thing to do would be to start this thing somehow. After I clean my hands, though. Like to get some of this fluid off. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So after way too daggum much fighting, turns out this ground right here, yeah, it come loose. So I just need to bolt it back on. Found the original bolt, but yeah, I feel smart now. It's just yeah. I wonder if it just holds there, if it'll be enough to make sure. I already bought a solenoid, so I've been using it for testing. Makes it easy. Anyways, back to feeling stupid and testing this. Yep, it works now. Y'all know how long I've been fighting with this thing? How long? Too long. Damn, burns my biscuits, I tell you. Crap. Gonna make good and shirts tight this time. For anyone wondering why it would have taken me more than 5 seconds to figure out the difference between a hot and a ground, which one's bad, this thing actually has 3 wires. So that top one right there gets power. Yeah, they send power to it when the starter solenoid's engaged, and that snatches it back. And then this wire right here on the left just holds it. Now it's not strong enough to pull it back; it's just strong enough to hold it there. But if you just leave it running on this top one, it'll actually melt itself and it gets really hot. So I thought one of these had gone out for some reason. You know, probably because that was part of the wiring harness they got wrapped up in the flywheel, you know. Who'd have thought? But I'm glad it was something that simple. I didn't have to splice wires and whatnot, so there we go. And now I got a spare starter solenoid, just in case. Now let's see if it'll start. I'm going to try this. Put that up there. That. Try this from inside the machine. Make sure it's at an idle. Sneeze. Try. Yeah, sneeze. Glow plugs. And I'm trying it from inside the machine. Just that, in case it tries to run off on me. There we go. Hydraulics work. Oh, yeah. Well, there we go. Probably should, I'm gonna add some back to it, and we'll try to do some digging. Sound fun? Okay. You know what? The sun's starting to go down, And I think I might have a chance of getting some better, more better footage tomorrow. So what I'll do is I need to do something about this cat. And I think I can 3D print one. I believe I have some magnets where I'll just set down on top and clip. Just, you know, kind of just, you know, just cut. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. I'll do something about that. Bam. Ah, well, crap. Now it don't come off. Oh, well. Put magnets in it, too, so now we... No, it won't come off. Maybe, I hope. Anyways, that's better than what we had. Alrighty, I've done greased it where, well, what fittings would take grease at least. So, well, most of them didn't. So we'll put that on the list of things to worry about later. But let's go dig. Heck, we got lines, we got fuel, we got fluid. Let's go tear something up. I got a pile I can go see if I can't dig in, scoop it up, spread it out, just see what the machine will actually do now that I'm not worried about a line blowing up in my face. Actually, while I'm here, hydraulic fluid level dropped a little bit, but that's probably just getting, just not gonna worry about that too much. If it's low later, well, then I'll worry about it, but right now I ain't worried about it too much. So yeah, we'll set y'all up on a tripod and I'm gonna go dig. Sound good? Sounds good.
Well, folks, there you go. Skid steer we bought from the scrapyard and back to life. Now, I'll say some of the fixes may have been janky at best, but have you seen the rest of the machine? Now, this is not going to be the end of this. This machine needs a fair amount of work. The hydraulics are leaky in multiple ways. Most the grease zerks won't take grease. It's kind of generally clapped out, the rusted out, but it runs and operates, and that's all for now as far as what I want to do with this thing. Because anything else in this, I've already got a fair chunk of change into this machine, and these YouTube videos don't make any money yet. I ain't got enough subscribers for that. Appreciate it if you help me out with that, though. Y'all notice I don't normally ask that, but this there was some effort put into this machine. Anyways, I'll give you one last walk around. All right. Well, you can see we ain't got that fitting needs to be tightened, but that's an easy fix. None of these lines are bad leaking. This cylinder ain't leaking at all. That's nice. Both of these leak internally, so they kind of, if you got a load on the bucket, it just kind of drops back down while you're using it. That one only leaks bad if you extend it all the way, so we ain't worried about this. This one weeps a little bit, but that's fine. That's not leaking, that's not leaking, that's good. All these are good. Let's see if we used up too much hydraulic fluid. Alright, somehow we have more than when I started. Okay, well, I'm not complaining about that. I'm not going to question it. Nope, no siree. But overall, this machine actually runs and operates well. It's happy doing what it's doing. It blows black smoke. That's fun. But yeah, y'all, this ain't the last y'all gonna see of this. There's gonna be a part 2 and maybe 3 where I make it a little nicer. You know, give it some lights and stuff. And then let me tell y'all what. I really want to restore this machine. At least, you know, mechanically make it nicer. Fix some of the rust problems, like the battery falling through the mount, or the fact you might fall into the pump. I'd like to do that, you know, clean up these bushings, fix the cylinders, and have this thing back where it can run a grapple, because A, you know, that'd make it real handy in the orchard and stuff, and B, when we're doing hurricane cleanup with our local volunteer fire department, they well, it's all volunteer everything, so we whole lot of doing stuff by hand, and it'd be really nice to have a skid loader we could use. But you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Tires are good. They're still holding air, I think. Yeah. I mean, overall, I'd say this is a great success. It's not leaking bad enough for me to do anything about it, so yeah, cross our fingers on that. Well, folks, there you go. Machine brought back to life, and it's happy about it. So I hope that hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if not, I hope you at least learned something. But yeah, this ain't the last you've seen of this machine, and I hope y'all come back for more. So I don't usually ask this, but if I can get to 1,000 subscribers, YouTube might actually start paying me for doing some of this, get a little bit of ad revenue. I know it ain't much, but it's something, and might help me do more of this. So if you don't mind, this machine took some effort, and I want as many people to see it as possible. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.